We're doing it again.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, we're back, as it were. It feels like it's good timing because there's new iOS update. There's kind of me spending crazy money on tech. There's kind of it seems to slide in nicely to the timing, right?
I got a new band for my Fitbit. This Fitbit Ionic is at least 4 years old. Did the upgrade on the software. It is the same Fitbit Ionic that you're buying in the store right now. That to me is a wonderful story about product that has been made future-proofed in a sense.
Yeah.
It still works perfectly well. So one of us is wearing a wearable. You got the Apple Watch on there yet?
I was lifting weights last night, and I can't, I can't lift my hands like above my chest. So I've got it on, but I just can't. I can't show you. Yeah. Sorry about that. No, it's funny because we go through these cycles. So I'm looking forward to in 10 years' time when I still don't have a wearable. You and I are still chatting about it, and each time they release one new one, which is obviously iOS, I guess Watch 7 now, there's something about it that I'm like, yeah, definitely going to get one now. So this time, I think last time it was you can check your heart rate. Yeah. I was like, that's crazy. The blue light. I love that. You can do your ECG or whatever.
You can do O2 levels as well. So you know what your oxygen saturation is. I mean,
exactly. So I'm done. I'm getting it. This time, I'm getting it was the larger bevel, like the larger screen.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, that's why I haven't got it before. That kind of 44 mm just isn't big enough. It's like.
So here's an interesting one. And when I said old school, new school, I have noticed something very recently, and maybe I just live in a tech bubble. I mean, and I think you and I kind of do live in the tech bubble. Yeah. And there's just this natural assumption that we're on Zoom, we're living, everything seems to be in a Google file of some sort, Google Docs, Meet, Classrooms, boom. And there's this, in my mind, there's this basic assumption that people understand the basics of how anything works with tech and loading stuff in, updating stuff. Not the case. and I'm sitting with some folks the other day, and I've got the smile on, and I'm just going, really? In my mind, I'm going, really? So here's a classic example. Talking with someone, and someone says, okay, you're gonna have to load up some smaller video samples for us to get a look at. And I'm thinking, okay, no problem. We got the video. So let's say it's the Zoom from this thing. I would just simply take the Zoom, throw it into QuickTime, and I might trim it. That would be the easy way to do it. Or throw it into iMovie, or I use Premiere, and just clip the time and make little files. And I could do that really quickly. And I'm sitting here with someone who uses the basic tools and goes, I have no idea how to do that. It's going to take way too much time. You're well beyond my ability. And I'm going, really? Like, I was literally sitting there going, wow, like, how is this even possible? But we're using stuff, but I'm getting the sense that we're using stuff, but we're not really sure how to do stuff with it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think some of the new kind of platforms are so easy that you don't have to think about it. Yeah. So I think that sometimes plays with people's mind. I go back to when the very first time I started using Mac, and I genuinely think Mac is built for idiots, because you in Windows you have to do this and this and this to get this, and then on Mac it was like, well, you just do this, and I'm like, well, no, that doesn't let me dig in. And they were like, yeah, but it does the same thing. So so I think it's kind of some of this stuff is so simplified now. Amit and I were talking about the the new web builders and how they've progressed to a point where, quite frankly, as an entrepreneur or a business owner, you don't need that kind of support.
You don't have to know how to code. The idea of needing to code, and we're still teaching students how to code and do some, which is very useful. But honestly, if you're jumping into Wix or any of we use Wix because that's what we use with PODAHOLIKS. You don't need to know. It's drag drop and boom. you're
Yeah,
done.
you're done. Yeah, it's interesting. I see what's cool as well. So I think this leads nicely into iOS 15. So
Yeah.
it's kind of one of those. We've spoken about this before. How Apple have the ability to add things to their product portfolio that's not new. It's
Right.
somebody else's game, right?
I'll give you the example, a real quick example. I'm sitting with a friend who has, they're using a newer iPhone 12, and they're going, wow, you can swipe. And I'm going, what? And I'm looking, I'm going, what do you mean you can swipe? And they're going, look, you can swipe and you can move. I'm going, I've been swiping for a long time. Like, what do we? Well, it hasn't been an Apple. And then they're looking. I'm looking at them and they're going, look at how clear the screen is. This OLED screen. And I'm going, what? What? It's so, and I'm going, that's not new. And they're going, oh no, but it's now on my Apple. It's new.
That's the thing. People get excited about it. And the big thing on iOS 15, because that just updated like a couple of days ago, I downloaded.
Hold on. You updated to iOS 15 because you're notorious. I'm going to go back and pull all the files. No, don't update. We're sitting in the closet at Dubai I 103.8 FM, and I'm saying, have you updated yet? And you're going, don't update. Don't. So you updated.
My update now is very security focused.
Yeah.
So when Apple, I've got, on this thing, you've got Apple Wallet, your credit cards, everything now. So when Apple say, hey, listen, you need to update because it's important for security, I now listen to them. Whereas before I'd be like, now I listen to them.
Well, I want to jump in. Let me interrupt you for just a second, because there is that whole issue that Apple had, and this was weeks ago, where they wanted people to do an emergency security update because of a spyware flaw. And they spoke about it a little bit, but not too much. But that patch that you're talking about in that update worked so that, and this is something that was found by the folks in Canada with Citizen Lab. They found this piece of spyware that had infected Apple products without even a click, and this spyware was able. The spyware was called Pegasus, and used a novel method to invisibly infect devices without victims' knowledge, known as a zero-click remote exploit, and it could basically get a hold. So what it would allow this hack to do is turn on users' camera and microphone, record messages, text, emails, calls, even those sent via encrypted messaging and phone apps like Signal, and send them back to an NSO's client and governments around the world. So, yeah, that's been fixed in the latest update. Back to Andrew.
No, it's good. I think so. That was on the back of this update, but it's the big news is the scanning of text.
Oh,
so now there's been an update to the phone, right? See, you're like, huh? So you can do a couple of different things. You can scan written text, and it converts it to regular text, copy paste in notes. You can scan on boxes and things like that, right? And then also you have the ability to translate.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, and then I was talking to my buddy last night, and I said, have you seen this? He goes, yeah, it's mad, man. I yesterday, it was unbelievable. I was at a trade show and I was able to scan business cards, and I was like, yeah, but you've been able to do that for like 10 years, mate. He goes, yeah, but it's an app and stuff. Right now it's just on the camera. So it's kind of like it. And I got excited as well. I was like, that's amazing. Now my notes, my scribbles, I can actually make something of them. So it is amazing how they have this ability, to expose people to tech. And I know it's been around, and I still get excited about it, right?
You know what they've done, and this is that thing that I love about innovation. I think people just keep forgetting about this whole idea of innovation. Is innovation does not mean making a new app. It doesn't have to mean this grand, brand new thing. It's taking something that's already there. And Dropbox and other services have been doing this for years. And now all Apple's done is made it instantly available through the camera. You don't have to, it's doing the work of going and connecting to the app for you that they've made. And it's making something that's already there just easier to access. That's innovation. And that's what Apple does well. Yeah.
You got to realize something, but all the big tech, so we've spoke, Amazon, a huge driver of Amazon sales, and there's now a couple of lawsuits that are running in the US, is where they find products that sell very well, and they just copy them, and then they put them up for sale on Amazon Basics. It's like,
Yeah.
What? I mean, they kind of, and that's, again, it's looking at, and I think this is one of the things when we've got, people that come into the office and kind of speak to us about certain ideas. Sometimes it's just kind of improving on what's there, right?
Yeah.
Or making a different choice. You don't necessarily have to reinvent the wheel. There is some things that you can take and kind of add, and depending on that. But I think that Apple's the absolute master at it.
Yeah.
It just it really, look, and there's some other cool features on there. There's a new it made me laugh because it made me think of Nokia, and it's far superior to Nokia. But they have this. I'm trying to, like, it's called Focus. So you have on the drop down the thing called Focus, and you now have different models on Focus based on notifications. So you can personalize your notifications. But it made me think of Nokia, because I think they were the first ones that had silent, meeting, home. And I was like, someone somewhere in that code is probably our age. And I was like, you remember on the Nokia where you used to be able to like, just, because they've had do not disturb, obviously, and things like that, and it's cool. But I think now you can customize the notifications, and there's also something. Actually, there is a feature that I thought was pretty darn cool, which is like a summary of your notifications.
Okay.
So I think at the moment, we're busy. You're back-to-back classes on teaching. I'm back-to-back Zooms. You don't get to look at your phone, and then you'll have like 100 notifications. What this will do is it will summarize those like in a box, just to give you a kind of heads up on all that. Which I thought that was pretty cool. Like, there's some things that I quite like. But again, it's been available. So it's like
I'm going. I've been doing that for like 5 years, maybe 7 years with my Android device. Like I got that already. Like you're telling me it's new, and I'm going, what? When did that exist?
So I think that's the, that. I guess Apple users would argue that it looks better on the Apple device.
Oh, well, but you know what? I've got a friend who has been in the Android environment for 3 years, survived 3 years, moved to a better device, and 13 came out, and back to the 13, back to Apple, back to the Apple environment, and they're only for one reason only. All the friends and family are on FaceTime, and it's too much of a hassle to have to go to WhatsApp, and they're not necessarily using WhatsApp because it's sucking up some of their space. So it's purely for the FaceTime. And even saying, I said, and the question was, and I'm saying, look, the camera's pretty good on the 13. Like, that's a really top end piece of kit, and it's got some nice features, and they're really hitting all the features, which I don't think the average person will ever use or make use of, but they're great features. And she's going, I hope the camera's as good as what I'm using on my Android, because this is a really good camera, like top line Android phone. Well, that's 3 years old, but still rocking it. I thought that was really interesting how people will make.
You raised an interesting point there, mate. I think for, especially in the US and UK, FaceTime, I mean, I'll be honest, that's a real pain. I don't know why they didn't open it here, because they've opened up everything else, obviously, but FaceTime and WhatsApp calling and everything is still blocked here. So yeah, FaceTime is a fantastic, because also with the Mac environment, you've got FaceTime on your MacBook and all of that, and it is that is something I think that definitely still holds people in to Apple, because just got used to it, right? Just got used to calling people over FaceTime. So that's just, I didn't think of that. That's another huge reason why people will do that. I think also as well, we've spoken about this. Apple is really leading the charge when it comes to security.
Absolutely.
They even now, like, so when you go in the App Store now, and this is new, so you can now get personalized ads.
Okay.
So when you're in the App Store, Apple News, they're trying to kind of say, look, listen, we don't want to send you irrelevant stuff, and obviously we spoke about this a couple of weeks ago about apps asking you to track them. So I think all of this, we've spoken about it before, but it's just different comfort levels, right? I mean, I personally feel that an Apple device is more secure. They do more stringent checks on the apps. They regularly delete apps, whereas Android is a bit
Yeah,
bit
it's
Wild West.
little
For some
loosey
of that.
goosey. Yeah, a little
Yeah.
loosey goosey.
Yeah,
So
but interestingly enough, I don't know about the Huawei App Store. I don't know how stringent that is. I mean, that's gaining dramatically. I had a call with those guys a couple of weeks ago, and the usage of their app store is actually pretty crazy in the Middle East.
yeah.
Because obviously anyone that's got a new Huawei device is all on that new app store. So yeah, pretty
I
nuts.
actually want to contact them because I film all of the Creative Mornings videos on a Huawei device using Rode mics. In fact, we were filming yesterday, and I had a chuckle because there was someone was filming for the video for the speaker as well, and they set up their rig and they got it all going. And I've got a couple of Rode mics hooked into the Huawei device, so I've got excellent sound. Even that photographer is going, "Wow, you got great mics there, my friend." And then about halfway through the video recording, that person using the classic Nikon, mic'd up with Sennheisers, the whole bit, had to come and take out the memory card and put in a new memory card. Whereas my video was rocking 4K uninterrupted. And I'm just kind of going, there's something to be said about using a mobile device. But I want to talk to the Huawei folks because I record the thing in Huawei. I'd love to see, because I do all my editing in Premiere on my MacBook. I'd love to see, after your conversation about the Huawei MateBook, I'd love to see if I could edit the whole thing in that environment. So I got to talk to them and see if they'll test it out for me.
Yeah, it's a good idea. You could do the whole shebang over a Huawei environment, right?
Yeah. So I think that'd be kind of cool.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I look. I think the thing is now, like you said, there's so many devices that replace other devices and just work better.
Yeah. I got one more. I know you got to go. What's the time? Are you still good for time?
No, we're good. Yeah, we're good. Yeah.
So where you're getting ready to travel. Yesterday we were talking about that, and you showed me your Kindle. It's charging up. I was a late comer to Kindle. You convinced me, and this is a couple years now, but it took me a long time to dive in there. I don't go to bookstores anymore. We have the same cover. Hold that one up.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We got the same cover. Is that my phone? Is that my Kindle? Hold on, I got mine right here.
I stole it.
That is hilarious. Hey, I got something else here for you. Take a look at my keyboard that I'm using with my MacBook Pro. Look at this sucker. And hold on, everyone's going with the wireless mouse. Why go wireless when you can have look at this thing?
Yeah. Look a beast, isn't it? I bet that clicks like crazy, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like you're the Grand National. Like it sounds like.
You really gotta smash that thing down.
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
On these guys though, on the Kindle, a huge part of what I do on here, if you look at my they've updated the home screen, which is really nice, right? On here now, so you've got like a nice library environment when you.
Hasn't it always been like that?
No, they've updated it. So you've got home and library now. You see the bottom navigation?
Mine's been like that for years. When did you just update your Kindle or something?
No, it came up yesterday and said, "Hey, do you want to?" Crazy. But mine, most of my Kindle reading is magazines.
Okay.
So I've got. They do the newsstand subscriptions. You get three news for like $2 a month or something. So I have Inc, Entrepreneur, Forbes, then I've got Wired, Mac Life, and I've now got 6 subscriptions, and USA Today.
What's that cost you? Is that bundle? Is that a bundle?
It is so cheap, it's embarrassing.
Because I'm thinking,
like honestly, all the magazines you go to Newsstand, you can do something called Newsstand where you get 3 magazine subscriptions for, I want to say it's $4 a month.
Wow. Okay.
So, I mean, literally for less than the price of, sorry, you got me thinking, because if you're remember, the only time I used to buy magazines was when I was flying.
Yeah.
But as soon as I saw the Inc and Entrepreneur, and those are the ones that I really enjoy reading, were on the Kindle, on Newsstand, I was like, I'm done. Like that's all good in the hood. That's they're on there. So even things like Stuff magazine,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, Stuff magazine. Yeah, I mean, I've got that on there. Yeah, I mean, super kind of usage around. So I love reading the daily newspaper on here and everything. So it's kind of, yeah, yeah,
I found with the Kindle now, I'm
yeah.
reading more. I'm as soon as I'm getting near the end of a book, I'm already looking at more. It'll obviously send you some suggestions, but I find I'm scrolling through way more content to find something I'm interested in, and
So
I'm more.
are you on the $9 newsstand one as well?
No, I'm not.
Subscription.
No, I'm not.
Now
But
you got to look at this. So basically, it's basically like a lending library.
okay.
So you can swap out books and everything unlimited for like $9 a month. It's
Right.
great.
I gotta
Definitely have a
do
look
that.
at it. I
Yeah.
know it's over your $8 limit, but I think have a look
I
at
think
have
my
a look at
limit's
it.
gone up
Right,
to 9. I've gone up to $9 now.
$9.
Anything under
Like
10.
inflation.
Yeah, anything under 10, I'm okay. Oh, here's another quick one. So this is good because but you know what I found, and this is going back to the tech world. We're all routed up in our homes. You're routed up. I'm routed up. That sounds really wrong, but it's amazing. It's been a couple years now, and I am using for my computer when I'm at home. I'm going with an Ethernet cable directly from my router, and
Ah,
the speed increase when you're doing that
yeah,
is phenomenal. And
yeah, yeah,
it's lightning. It
yeah, yeah,
totally. Then you're only restrained by the actual speed of your computer, which
yeah,
then you start to notice. I was doing some rendering and things yesterday, and I'm going, this
yeah,
computer is really slow.
yeah, yeah. No, yeah. I'll show you something on this at the moment. On this particular, like I've got a stand. My stand is currently my new D-Link router that I bought.
Okay. You
And I haven't.
you've got your computer on your router? Oh, the router box.
I have the
No.
router box.
Okay. Okay.
So I got a router box here, or router. We call them router, which sounds even bit worse. But the interesting thing is, I haven't set it up yet because I haven't gone through the pain yet of setting it up. Because not only do I have to go through like the router and the Etisalat, but I've also set up when I moved into the study here, I've got the Nova mesh,
Right.
right? So I've got a mesh system around the whole house as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've got all of that to deal with. And I almost need to mentally allocate 3 hours just to, so this has been sitting here for a couple of weeks.
Oh man.
Because I realized that speed wise, that upgraded all my internet. It's still a bit, and I was, how old's my router? And it literally is like 4 years from a Tesla,
And they wear out.
the
They do wear out those things.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. So,
Yeah.
so and you might find, although then you need a dongle. You got to get the multi dongle, but running the Ethernet cable directly into your machine changes everything. So that's something to keep in mind as well.
Yeah.
So you ready to travel? I know you got a few minutes left, right? Before you got to go, or how are we looking?
Yeah, we just I mean, it's getting ready. It's that's a bit of a mission in itself at the moment. I think what's interesting is that behind the scenes, there definitely appears to be some, obviously, with the necessary government bodies globally, moving into this app passport environment.
Yeah.
We just saw that with the UK and the UAE, where now the Al Hosn app, it recognizes in the UK and so I think I think that we've had to I've had to register on 5 different sites to kind of say that we're traveling and everything. So I think it's just going to be like that for the next couple of years, right? I think the good thing is, like, as long as it's kind of comes or moves to a point where it's all on an app, that's going to be helpful. But I think,
but then it's again, you got to have all these apps. You've got to have connectivity to make them work when you get to airports.
Exactly, and I think probably like you, I always just do printouts of stuff.
Yeah,
living in this part of the world for so long.
Got a binder.
Yeah,
big binder.
What
do you need?
I remember being in. Exactly. To travel to the States, you need an ESTA form. And I was at immigration once, and I definitely get profiled with a beard. And coming from the Middle East, as crazy as that sounds, and like, oh, I can't find your ESTA. I'm like, I got it here. And they're like, well, what do you mean you got it? I was like, I printed it. Here it is. And they're like, oh, okay. Right. It's kind of like Frozen, right? People don't print stuff. So, but yeah, I've got a binder. Have binder, will travel.
I'm looking forward. You're heading to the States. I'm looking forward to the return from the States so you can share with us all of the cool things that have now caught your attention. And some of those just might be common sense things that you've noticed, things that we could improve with here, things that we're doing better here. I'm looking forward to your assessment of all that upon return. So that's going to be a fun show. That's going to be a fun conversation.